What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
It is Tuesday, the 28th of January. Um, It'll be a crazy episode. I mean, just with all the things going on. Obviously, here in LA, we're just going over some of the Kobe stuff. It's obviously everybody knows by now. Kobe Bryant, LA Laker, Hall of Famer, well, future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time, top two in many people's books. Um, Passed away Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, unexpected. Helicopter crash. Him, his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter, 7 other people on their way to his facility where he has that youth program, Mamba Academy. His daughter's 2 teammates, her parents, 1 coach. Just tragedy. It's just unexpected. Took everybody by surprise. Took the whole city. Took the world.
Yeah.
I think because not that many people are, in terms of a global sports icon, not that many people are like on Kobe's level. I think it's different from like with basketball because basketball is like, I don't know.
It's an Olympic sport, so it's globally played.
Yeah. And like I can't even say that like another athlete, let's say, I'm not saying, I wish anything on these athletes, but like a Ronaldo or like a Messi, it'll be sad, but I think it'll be more of like primarily an international type of.
Mm. Or it'll be like a news story for the day.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be definitely sad, but it wouldn't have. I don't know if it would have the same. It's a different type of athlete. Different. He crossed over into the entertainment. He crossed over into philanthropy. He crossed over into like. He was just a global sports icon, and everybody kind of admired him. Other athletes in different sports admired him for his work ethic and how he motivated them to be the best athlete they can be. Um, he was basically Mr. LA. I mean, I would say he was.
Yeah, I mean it's rare where you see a player get drafted by a team and stay with that team for 20 years.
Yeah,
Usually, players get traded, they leave their team, but Kobe was a Laker from day one
yeah.
till he retired.
And we especially people our age basically grew up with him.
Yeah, he was our Jordan of this
Yeah,
generation.
he was our Jordan. By the time we were, for me, I'm a little bit younger, but I was probably like 12, 11, 12 years old when he was like 17 in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty tragic, pretty sad, unexpected, crazy, super unexpected, and then,
Yeah.
we got to see him. Unfortunately, I'd never like being in LA. I never went to a Laker game. I've never been to a Laker game.
I saw him one time against the Jazz.
Yeah,
The first year the Staples Center opened in '99.
yeah. It's. I mean, we took it for granted. I always watched from home. I think everybody here watched from
Mm.
home. I think. Yeah, I've never been a big sports guy, but it's Kobe. It's like it's you. You gotta love Kobe. You gotta respect him and know that he's the big part of LA. I think even more so than Magic was or
Yeah,
Kareem. Like
yeah,
they had their time, but after a while they kind of left the spotlight and Kobe came in from like
yeah.
3 decades almost.
Hmm. He
And
transcended sports, and it's
yeah,
crazy when I think the game when he tore his Achilles heel, and he shot the free throws with the torn,
yeah,
and then he walked to the bench. It's crazy.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, just he's one of those guys that you just never expect something like this to
He's
happen
41
to.
years old, man.
41. His daughter was 13.
That's
Most of the
that's
people on there were
heartbreaking.
roughly around the same age. Is this one of those people that I didn't even think it was real at the time. It's hard to even comprehend that it's real. That someone like
Yeah,
Kobe
is
goes out in
yeah,
that way and is not around.
and yeah, and the way he died is
His
ew.
way he died is tragic. The fact that there was more than one, it wasn't just him. It was a group of people. It was like this
Too.
a freak, horrible accident, and I know they're blaming the pilot, and yeah, he's definitely at some fault because he is the most experienced person on there and knows what to expect in terms of the flying conditions. And it looks like the weather conditions played a factor because it was a foggy. It's been a foggy more week
Hmm.
in LA, especially in the mornings, late nights, and but you can't. It's not a time to point fingers and blame. It's just one of those human error and freak accident and things happen. The guy's a super experienced person and he flew celebrities all around. So he was Kobe's basically his
This
private
guy, yeah.
his guy. Kobe's flown in helicopters almost his entire career, mainly because he never wanted to spend time in traffic. He just wanted to go from the game, practice, and back home, spend time with his family, and that was his main reason for doing it. And yeah,
And it's
sad.
crazy. It's like I've never seen someone's death have so much impact. Like and just seeing like continued coverage like the day after, and today's what? Today's Tuesday, and it's still going on.
Yeah,
They have like different. It's crazy how much. And then I saw that scene where I think it was China when they were like holding candles for him.
yeah. No, I knew when it happened. It was like I was like I told you before. I was like, this is a big one. I told my wife Liz. I was like, this is a big one. I mean, like this is not like just someone dying. This is a Kobe. This is like global sports icon. Like young, and in this way, this one's a big one. I was like,
And
this is
then,
like Michael Jackson. Even though Michael Jackson had his demons and he kind of fell
yeah,
victim to his demons, he was. It's on that level because it was a global response.
yeah. I knew he was big. I didn't think he was this
Yeah.
big. And seeing different people more in like not just basketball people, people from MMA, people from different sports,
Yeah, even MMA.
celebrities.
Hmm.
It's crazy. I didn't. I would never would think that he was that big.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
he was in
scene.
transcended different aspects of sports and life. I got to see him speak
Oh, that's
2 years
right.
ago.
That's right.
I was at a business conference, and he was like the main speaker. And his event was like a big event, but it was like in the ballroom at the convention center. And then yeah, I mean, I was kind of mid row, so not too far away, but not too close, and yeah, got to see him speak, and I was talking about his post career and the businesses he's invested in, and what his thought process was in doing it, and this and that. So he seemed like he was like had a going into his retirement like with ease and just enjoying it, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, a lot of players when they retire from a sport that they've been in for so long, they kind of get that itch. But Kobe was ready to retire. I think he was happier post career than he was
yeah.
during his career because when he was playing, he had the pressure of winning. He had the stress of the world, being away from his family. So I think he felt the happiest post career.
And most people don't can't let it go, but he was able to kind of like find another passion. So yeah, but like, again, with the MMA community, everybody you go on the feed, and there was almost every. I mean, you could look at Glory kickboxers, Invicta fighters, EFC fighters, UFC, Bellator people, like across the board, just all those athletes in the combat community. Half of them, more than half of them, 90% of them were responded something about Kobe and his motivation. And a lot of them, especially the bigger names, got to meet him.
Yeah, and it's
So
crazy seeing like all the different NBA arenas across the
yeah,
nation have purple and gold, the Laker colors outside
yeah.
their arena.
The
And
Intercontinental building here, one of the tallest building here, lit up in purple and gold. You have the Empire State Building, purple and
yeah,
gold. Like it's crazy.
MSG had purple and gold.
Yeah,
Philadelphia, the whole city was lit up purple and
yeah.
gold. It's crazy.
It's sad. It's sad, and it's not over yet because they still got to do they're finishing up the investigation. Then they got to do kind of city stuff. They're gonna do probably. I'm sure they're gonna do an open event for a memorial. They're gonna do the funeral. That's gonna be broadcast. They're gonna have the first couple of rounds of Laker games and Clipper games, which kind of somewhat already happened for the Clippers, but Lakers have yet to play. They had a game today scheduled, but that was postponed. Um, So
You know what's crazy about the postpone? I think that the last time an NBA game was postponed was in Boston during the Boston bombings,
yeah,
and before that was when Kennedy got shot. So
yeah,
this is a big deal.
yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things that like what the fuck? Like it's just you can't even. It's doesn't even seem
It's
real. It's like it
yeah.
does. It's completely unexpected, completely almost like unnecessary. Like why? Like why?
I like
We
we
started the year out
yeah. We both experienced
cool,
some big losses on
and then bam, like why?
Kobe Bryant of all people.
You know?
I still can't believe it happened. And then I want to watch YouTube. I go, oh, it's real. Oh
Yeah,
God.
every time you go online or you go on YouTube, it's everywhere. It's all you see, and it's like you get reminded that, damn, this shit is real. Dude. It's freaking.
Yeah.
It really happened. It's like
Yeah.
Kobe's dead, and the way he went out, and like it's.
Because when I'm offline, I wouldn't say I forget about it, but
But
it's
you
not in
kind
my
of,
mind. And then
yeah,
when I get reminded, I'm like, God damn, he's dead,
yeah,
and it hits me.
yeah, yeah.
It
And
sucks.
it's sad seeing all the responses from some of the people that were close to him. Some people you didn't even know were close to him, responding, and it's like Shaq finally responded like in person, tearing up and all that. Phil Jackson has yet to respond. Um, what's his name that runs the Lakers?
The Bus family, or
No,
oh, Jerry West.
Jerry West responded. That was a sad
Yeah.
one. He's probably one of the first big names like that to respond.
Hmm. I think
Um,
Kareem responded. That was
yeah, yeah, Kareem responded. Yeah, it was just sad all around, just unexpected, just a tragedy. Um, and it's different than if he like died in a car accident by himself and just one of those things. But like it was like
his 13-year-old daughter.
it
It's
was just
killed.
like a yeah, multiple victims is a completely human error tragedy. It's just like
I feel bad
horrible.
for his wife. Can you imagine losing a husband and daughter on the same
Yeah,
day?
it was yeah them and because he's got three other daughters, two of them super young, two of the middle ones super young. I think it maybe no, he has like a 17-year-old from another.
Hmm.
I don't know. He's got a 17-year-old, the 13-year-old that was with him, and it's sad seeing those pictures of them together. It's just freaking ugh.
He was just at Staples Center not too
Yeah,
long
it was a
ago.
freaking horrible. It's so horrible seeing their pictures together and knowing what happened.
And
Ugh.
it's crazy seeing them like at Staples Center talk about the Lakers, and
Yeah.
then like they don't know that in a couple of days they'll be dead.
Yeah.
That's crazy to
Crazy.
me.
And then he's got two other daughters. He's got a 6 to 7 month old
Oof.
that will barely even,
Probably we
won't even really
know
know.
who he
I
is.
mean,
I
it
mean,
won't remember the interactions.
yeah.
No, but obviously we'll get reminded plenty because there's plenty of footage and video and games and the people around. Yeah, I don't know what's harder. That I'm sure it's the hardest ones are probably the young ones because it's hard for them to process it.
Yeah.
Um, the baby or the oldest one, the baby doesn't know any better right now, and the oldest one could probably has more capabilities to process things of
But
that
Vanessa, huh? She
nature.
has no
I
losing a daughter and a husband.
I heard she found out from other people because she was at the arena where they were
Where
going
the
to
person?
practice,
Oh
and
crap!
she was there waiting for them. And from what I hear is that other people found out through the news, and then she wasn't notified before, so she found out from people there.
Oh god!
Yeah, and then not to mention the other victims on there. You had the baseball coach from Orange Coast College, his wife and his youngest, and they have two other kids that were like late teens that were at home, and after pretty much the entire family's wiped out. It's been sad.
Oh,
And then the other family on there, I think the
it was
coach,
Gigi's teammate, right?
yeah, there's a wife and a mom and a daughter. They passed away, and then there was um, the coach, the female coach, and her husband put out a statement because they had three young kids.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And they're the kids are like 10 and under,
oh
and their
god!
mom's gone, and it's like
Oh, what are you saying in the
that he's
statement?
like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna freaking just like it's going to be tough moving on, just because I've got three young daughters or three young kids. I think he's got a son, a daughter, and a younger daughter. So he's got yeah,
And like, I mean, I can imagine them saying goodbye. It's kind of okay. Well, I'll see you later, and maybe
yeah,
a hug and maybe a little kiss, or
none of that.
maybe not even that, because you expect them to come home and then you know
Just sad.
the last thing they know is like he's never gonna talk to his wife or daughter again. That's crazy to me. And then there was a before I forget, there was an interview from Tracy McGrady from
Hmm.
Magic, and he said that Kobe always told him that Kobe always wanted to die young.
They always wanted to die young.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, because him and Tracy McGrady, Kobe and Tracy McGrady grew up together, and they played ball at a young age. And he said he remembered a conversation when Kobe told him he's always wanted to die young.
Yeah,
But
I'm
this
sure. I'm
is
sure. I'm sure it changed as he got
yeah,
older
as he got older and,
and
and
had
had
kids.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that change.
But
It
it's crazy. It's
changes.
just him knowing that happened. Knowing
Yeah,
that he said that. It sucks.
it sucks. It
It's
sucks all
crazy.
around. It
Yeah.
sucks for all the fans, all the just the people that admired him,
People that were
people of the
affected.
city for sure, like the LA area for sure. Um, and then all the victims and all the remaining family members that lost all the like their loved ones and like families just broken apart. That's it. It's fucking
Yeah,
done.
I think it's gonna be the biggest story of 2020 once
Oh,
this
for
year
sure.
is over.
Because I mean, like there are people that have celebrity, and I hate it when people like you hear it now, like where some people I've seen a couple of responses from people like either like in the media or on like personal, where they're like, oh, like I'm never really a person that gets emotional when celebrities die, but this one hurts or something like that. And like I think one of the ESPN guys was like when so and so died, I think he even brought up Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson died, I didn't really understand the magnitude. Like I was a fan, I admired him, but I didn't understand why people were so emotional. And then he's like, but now I get it. And it's like, and for me, it's a lack of empathy. It's being like, oh, you don't really know the person, so you don't feel like they're worth your emotion or whatever. Like you don't have that attachment. Maybe the person's not that type
Yeah,
of person gets attached. But I think I'm that way. Like it sucks to say, but like when I've had family members, especially older people, pass away. Not that many, but and you don't you feel sad and you remember the times that you spent with them, and maybe the last 10 years you really didn't see them, and they didn't have that much of an impact on your life or in any way or something like that.
yeah.
But that you remember them fondly.
But you have
But
people like someone like Carrie Fisher dies, and
some
then like you're like, oh,
yeah, like I remember when Carrie Fisher died. Oh my god, I was a wreck.
yeah.
I was a wreck.
I
It
remember
was like a
calling you and
fucking
checking up on
or
you,
when Chester died from Lincoln Park. Oh fucking, I was a wreck.
and that
Um,
was like kind of close to each other. Those two deaths.
yeah, and then it was like, and then like other like actors
People that
or
you admire.
or musicians or like people of this notoriety like passing away either tragically or unexpectedly and natural causes or whatever. It's like those yeah I feel those because I think in a lot of ways
There for you, yeah,
they were there for me
in some way,
in
yeah,
some way
yeah.
more so than let's say a family member
That you hardly
passing away
see.
that
They
I
see
rarely even knew.
you see
You know
like
what I mean?
once a year or whatever.
Or didn't or it's sad to say that.
It's a connection.
It's sad to say that, but it's a connection that sometimes you depend on. Carrie Fisher dying. We grew up with Carrie Fisher
Yeah,
in the house. We
yeah.
grew up with Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher in the media. We grew up with Carrie Fisher. Like those movies meant a lot to us. Those characters meant a lot to us.
Mm-hmm.
Her as a celebrity and it was entertaining and meant a lot to us. You know what I mean? So it's like, and to have her pass away like through a heart attack at a young age, she's like maybe 61, and then like Chester passing away from suicide or Chris Cornell passing away from suicide, Scott Weiland dying from overdose. It's like these people that inspired you that motivated you, that that entertained you.
Whew.
It's like
Yeah,
I always felt something. I never understood how people could just dismiss human life like that. You know what I mean? Like, and just be like, they're a celebrity. Who it's Paul Walker died. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I don't know Paul Walker.
yeah,
It's like, he's still a person,
yeah.
and he did something for you. He entertained your ass.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah. No, I
so
get it, and it sucks because like we've seen a lot of people that we admire pass on
especially the
and
last few years. I mean, the
yeah,
last few years, I had family members.
outgrowing. Yeah,
I've had family members die tragically. I've had people that inspired me or motivated me, and celebrities or musicians or whatever, like we talked about, passed away. A lot of them in the last few years.
especially in music.
Yeah, especially in music, and it's like could be just a, it could be just the times that we're living in terms of social media and how media affects people's mentalities. It could be just life in general. That's just how things go. It could be age. As we get older, people start to die off. People that we've admired over the years start to die off.
And and then I always think one day I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be gone forever. Like like
Yeah,
like
and
we're
then
alive right now, and then we know we're
and
gonna die, and
and
that's
that's
it.
why you don't know if you're gonna see people again. You don't know if there's an afterlife. Chances are there might not be. You know what I mean? So it's like you make the most of what you got. You appreciate what's around, and you do what you can. Yeah, life gets in the way. People are, you get busy, but as long as those last interactions are positive, or you try to like reach out, or you try to like enjoy life or live life in some type of way as best as you can, then it's like that's all you can really do. Because
Yeah. I think Joey Diaz posted a picture of Kobe, and he said, "This is the reason why we should always hug our loved ones and tell them we love them."
yeah, because I mean, his family expected him. They were just normal Sunday
Yeah,
practice.
I'll see you at the
I'll see you at the
practice.
I see you at the game. So there you go. And then and
Why
then
didn't he just drive?
yeah. So or when they were having complications because they circled the zoo area, Glendale area around for a while. It's like
Land.
yeah, this land, you're having complications. So I mean, that's what we can say about it. I mean, you're a big basketball fan. Any final thoughts on it? Like,
Yeah,
I'm a casual, so
yeah, it sucks because I do remember watching all those fight championships that Kobe brought to LA and watching the games and
hmm
going to the parades and seeing Kobe in person. I saw Kobe play one time. Like I was saying earlier, it's I have no words to describe it.
it's
It's
crazy.
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Yeah, but our condolences to the family, man, especially Vanessa, poor thing.
yeah. All the families, all the victims, all that stuff. It's like, pretty
Yeah,
sad. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while for the city to recover. It's gonna take a while for people to kind of like start to go about their days normally.
yeah,
But yeah, it's crazy, crazy times. Um, what else? This weekend was fun though.
yeah. It was.
Um, at least up until Sunday. Saturday was great. We had Bellator 238. Um, it was just great seeing all the media members that there was a lot of media members. It was, I mean, obviously the Cyborg's debut, Sergio Pettis' debut.
Hmm.
Um,
Brought a lot of attention.
a lot of Aaron Pico on the card.
Mm.
So a lot of reasons to be there. And it was just a fun night. It's just a good fights are great. Um, media members were it's great seeing everybody. It's always a good time with Bellator and the crew and all the CJ and Dan and all them. It's just fucking great to see those guys and always they're so gracious and respectful and just helpful and just fun to be around. They always they remember, props to them for even just like being like, hey, how's your wedding and stuff like that. It's like just stuff you don't come across. It's just
Yeah,
like you don't come across that kind of shit, dude. So it's like
yeah. Same
I appreciate it.
with Garrett Davis. Like Garrett
Oh,
Davis
Garrett,
is
yeah.
like he has no. If he has a right to blow us off,
If
and
you guys don't know
he never does.
Garrett Davis, he's one of the media members and he's one of the biggest names in MMA and combat sports media, and it's just like, he's just a joy to be around, joy to see. He's just is one of the guys, and it's just one of the crew, and just like
Yeah.
doesn't hold himself above everybody, and he even though he has every right to, um, you know, Rob, Fanboy Nation, and Amy, and just everybody, man. It's just great to see everybody. Great to see. It's always a joy to and I know we don't get to do as much in this podcast as much as we'd like all the time, but you know the fact that are able to go to those events and see those people and see the fights and
It's
see all
worth
this,
it. Yeah.
these make these historical moments in combat sports, to see them up and close in person. It's just it's like look at all our media credentials that we got to go to, and it's probably, I'm sure, there's a few in there that we don't even have on there, that we all the experiences.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy.
yeah. Sometimes you take it for granted because you take it for granted, but also I think it's frustrating to not be able to do more and to
Hmm.
be like it'd be full time, but
Yeah.
it's fun. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Fights are great. Um, who won on the card? There's a few notable wins. Obviously, we had to go with Cyborg.
Yeah.
Cyborg winning the championship there. It was a featherweight, yeah, right,
Featherweight.
featherweight.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, dominant, looked great. Four-time champion in multiple
Yeah.
organizations.
Invicta, the UFC, Bellator, and Strikeforce.
Yeah, just it's. I mean, listen. I know Amanda Nunes is considered the GOAT, but is she? With the length, the time that the man, this will be the first question here. So she's so dominant. Cyborg, you could talk on her performance and what you thought. But is she the GOAT? Even with, like, taking into her account her win streak, the length of time that she was undefeated, the way she beat people up, who she beat, her multiple titles.
It's a tough question because, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Amanda beat Cyborg, beat Ronda, beat Holly, beat Misha. I mean, how many girls can claim that?
Yeah. But
So,
later in her career, though,
I
she was
mean,
going through a moment in her career where she was getting beat herself.
yeah, I think every fighter faces that. I think at some point, whether it be in the beginning or later in their career.
Mm.
Um, but I think her resume, if you're gonna put her resume and who she's being and have that as a category, then yeah, then she is the GOAT. But if you put dominance and titles, I think Cyborg is. But
Yeah,
I
dominance
think,
titles and some notable names.
yeah,
Yeah,
notable names as well. I think maybe Amanda faced tougher competition.
and the fact that a lot of the other girls didn't want to fight her.
Yeah.
Like, Ronda avoided her. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't think she fought Misha, right?
No.
No, Misha avoided her. Misha retired before she even got a chance to even throw her name in the hat.
Yeah. But if you look
You
at
know?
the people that Cyborg faced versus who's Amanda faced, I mean, I think Amanda faced tougher competition.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all opinion. I think it's kind of hard to say whether I think Amanda or Cyborg's a GOAT. It depends on what you consider as far as the categories go.
And obviously, Cyborg later in her career, she's mid 30s, almost 40s, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the fact that Cyborg
what
won 4 titles in 4 different major promotions is a feather in her cap in itself.
it's hard
I
to
mean,
argue. There's an
it's hard to
argument. There's an
argue. Yeah,
argument for both.
it's one of those barbershop arguments. I mean, it's not a wrong answer who you pick, but I I'll just say that they're both up there,
They're
or
both
one
up
and
there.
two, or one
Like,
and
is
one,
Amanda
one A, one B.
Amanda might go down as the second generation of the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like,
Kind of like Michael and Kobe.
yeah, Cyborg had, Cyborg's Michael Jordan, and then because she kind of revolutionized the game, she
She was the
she
first
was
female.
dominant.
Yeah,
She's multiple time championship. obviously Amanda's got to catch up in that respect in terms of the length of her dominance.
Oh,
Um,
and Amanda's a two-way champ.
Two-way champ, double champ. So they both, there's arguments for both.
And I don't think one's a
I mean,
wrong answer either.
no, Amanda's younger. She's like 30,
Hmm
31, something like that. So she's younger. Um, I don't know. I mean, but dominant performance. But the thing is also, to Cyborg's credit, not to be at her age, to be at the career that she's had, and to still really not skip a beat. She's always at sometimes even like with this performance improving,
Yeah,
a little bit more calculated, but
yeah,
still ferocious. And the
yeah. I mean,
conditioning,
Cyborg's a beast, and she put a fear in a lot of women's
yeah,
eyes. And
to have that championship conditioning
yeah,
at her time in her career,
hmm
most fighters would probably be on the down slopes at this time.
yeah. And I think with what I like the most about Cyborg is, and this is what I want to say in the press conference, but I didn't get to say, is that a lot of people always mention her accolades, in the cage, but I think she's a champion outside the cage, and the stuff that she does, outside and visiting different hospitals. There's a lot of volunteer work. She goes, she touches people's lives.
Yeah,
I think that's also really important, and she's a phenomenal person
yeah,
outside the cage.
yeah. Does a lot of work, does a lot of work for the youth. But yeah, no, she did great. I mean, Julia Butt
I
did what she could.
felt bad for Julia, but
Yeah, I don't know if the performance warrant in her title reign warrants an immediate rematch. I think
no, she got dominated
she
in
got
that fight.
dominated thoroughly. I think she hung in there as best as she could.
You
Um,
know, when I'm there, I just like to suck up the moment, just stare at it and say, man, how fortunate am I to be this close to the fighters and just watch it? It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and we just go to have we try to do our work, do the best we can, and just have a good time
Sometimes,
and
like
just
sometimes,
enjoy
like
it.
like I just find myself, man, this is
Yeah, I do too. I
crazy.
look around and I'm just like, I look at all the lights, I look at all the screens, all the people around, where we're sitting, who we're around. I'm just like,
It's so
this is
crazy.
cool.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so
Like every time.
crazy.
So yeah, the event was great. Aaron Pico got a win, much needed win, looking great.
Yeah,
Sergio Pettis looked great. Um, it was just a all around really fun night, really good showing by Bellator. We'll see Bellator again in person in May. Looking
hmm
forward to it. I think Bader's title fight on that card, and from what I hear, they're gonna do their best to stack the card. So it's gonna be awesome.
hmm
Um, and we have a combat jiu-jitsu in March. So those are the next couple events for us, at least
yeah,
for that are set currently. Um, UFC had an event over the weekend too. That was in, I think, Raleigh. Was it Raleigh, North Carolina? Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Well, we
Um,
saw the main event
yeah,
at
we were
Bellator.
watching main event of Curtis Blades and Junior Dos Santos. Curtis Blades on a roll still. He's obviously expressed some frustration with the heavyweight division, looking to saying that there needs to be more progress in terms of getting guys title shots and moving along and getting these number one contender shots right away and more of an active champion. And I kind of agree. I kind of agree because the Cormier and Stipe fight is not even official yet. Cormier is
No.
still waiting on that to be official. That's going to delay any other title defenses
Yeah,
for Stipe down the
it just
road.
holds the whole division in limbo. I think they should just create an intern. If you're going to create an intern championship, this is the reason. This is a good reason why you should do it.
Yeah, and it might be a year. It might be a year until Cormier and Stipe fight again. Like from the
Well,
time that they fought all the way to the next time they fight.
well, DC said that if he's not ready to fight by summer, he's going to retire,
Yeah,
and you can't blame him
you
because
can't blame him. I mean, why not? 1-1. There you go.
it sucks that he's
You
he's
know.
exiting the sport with a loss. But I mean, how far? I mean, how long are you willing to wait?
Yeah, and then you beat the guy already. He beat you. You can both claim the 1-1.
He has that show on ESPN Plus. Let's
Yeah,
focus on that.
he's fine. I mean, even if he did retire, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I don't need to see it again,
Nah,
but
me neither.
I wouldn't mind seeing it just to have a definitive answer. But then it's like where do you go from there? If Cormier wins and vacates the title, then you have Stipe fight for it again, and do you just chalk it up to, oh well,
Where do you?
they might go one for one
Yeah.
every time.
Hmm.
So
Where do you put Dos Santos now? I mean, geez, he's like inconsistent. He's like he fights
yeah,
not that often, and when he does, he'll win one,
he,
and he'll lose one, and
he'll
he'll
have
win
like
one.
he'll have like a couple of wins, and then he'll lose a couple of devastating losses, couple of wins.
Is he like
I
a
don't think I wouldn't say
gatekeeper?
I wouldn't say he's done. I would say he's a gatekeeper at this point in his career. He's the guy that if you could get past Dos Santos, I'm sure you're welcomed into the top five ranks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree with that.
because he's still tough to deal with. He's still a guy who's not easy to fight. But you go against a guy like Curtis Blades, who's Curtis is a big guy. Even like I saw him against Dos Santos, he's a big guy,
Hmm.
and he's got that wrestling caliber. He's got those heavy hands, and he's just a big, quick guy. Probably one of the most athletic in the division.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have Francis Ngannou, who beat him too, who's just, I mean, a wrecking ball of a freaking person.
It's
So
I think
it's
the
hard.
heavyweight division needs new guys. I think it's far and few between like the fighters that we
Do you,
have.
I mean,
John
I'm
Jones,
hoping John Jones makes a move.
he needs
If he
to.
makes
I'm
the move,
hoping this year.
I think if he makes a move this year after Dominic Reyes, it changes the entire heavyweight division. I say
Goes
he'll
in there and just dominates.
just dominates and just shuffles the whole, like almost like a freaking like you're playing pool and then all the balls just disperse. He just
Yeah,
that's John Jones sending them all the scattering,
yeah,
and then see what happens after. See who comes.
yeah. It's true, man.
I think he's big enough. He's quick enough. He's talented enough to just dominate that division. I wouldn't mind seeing Gus up there too.
Mm. Oof. I
Like
want to see. Mm, I want to see Francis Ngannou face John Jones.
I don't
That'd
know.
be scary.
I want to see how he does against guys like Curtis Blades, who's you know a talented striker and wrestler and big. I want to see
Big
how
guy, yeah.
John Jones deals with guys that are like closer to his size.
Yeah.
Because light heavyweight, he's kind of he's the bigger individual most of the time. It'll be interesting.
I want to see how he reacts to like a Francis Ngannou punch,
Yeah,
clean punch.
yeah.
He'll probably get knocked out.
I don't know. I don't even know if he would mess with it. I think he would. I think he would.
No, I'm saying like if Francis like lands a
Oh
shot.
yeah. I mean, that's how it goes for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Shit. On before we go, we'll go Stephen A. Smith. Any thoughts on the Stephen A. Smith Rogan controversy?
Um.
Rogan talked about it. He had Frankie Edgar on today. I have yet to watch it fully. I'm curious to see.
Oh, but
he talks about him.
did he respond to Stephen A?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
I heard him.
yeah. And then I don't think he backed down really. He kind of like stood his ground in terms of, I don't know. So I gotta watch that. Frankie Edgar's on there. Kamaru Usman. Okay, after this Kobe thing.
I can't stand Kamaru Usman
Yeah.
anymore. He's so annoying.
So after this Kobe tragedy, you had Kamaru Usman on Rogan's and just talking about himself and this and that. I'm like, need to fucking, I don't need to see this shit right
I
now.
just want to might as well fucking rip him apart.
Like, you had one of the biggest athletes in the world just pass away tragically. I don't need to see Kamaru Usman just talking about how good he thinks he is. I just don't. I get it. No, nothing wrong against the guy. Whatever, you do your thing. But you could have waited a few days to just get this interview in. Like I know scheduling wise, you had to for Rogan, you had to get it done. Can't postpone it. But like,
Mention Kobe.
yeah, mention Kobe. Go come in a little bit more like just
Sympathetic.
sympathetic to the situation, the what's going on in the world,
Especially
and not
that Rogan he resides in LA.
and not be talking about yourself. And that's all. Like first 15 minutes of it, he was just talking about himself and this, and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking.
Yeah,
I don't need you to be talking about yourself. I don't want to hear this.
I hope
Every other
Jorge-
podcast talked about it.
Yeah.
At least mention it right off the bat, and not so much on Rogan. I guess Rogan wanted to let the guest really dictate what they wanted to talk about. I'm sure they brought up Kobe already on their own. So
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. So, but Frankie's on there, and it seems like a good discussion. So I'm gonna catch that later on. But
Cool.
I don't know. Stephen A. Smith.
I think
Is he out of his lane? If he's out of his wheelhouse, should he stick to his own thing? Should he be a little? Nothing. He didn't say any, for me. He didn't say anything that was like
I
his observations are not wrong. It's just the way he put it and the disrespect in terms of like saying he folded and you being so new to the sport. You got to come a little bit more.
yeah, but I think his response to Rogan, I think he said all the right things. I don't think he said anything bad.
No. The response is no, but I think he avoided what the real issue was. He didn't even bring it up.
No,
Like
he didn't.
it wasn't about you saying anything about Connor. It was what you said about Cowboy,
Cowboy, yeah,
and he completely avoided that in his
saying that
response.
he folded, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, I don't know. I think if you're a guy like Stephen A. Smith and you're coming into this sport, you got to be a little bit more respectful, and he didn't.
I just hope that this incident doesn't, have Stephen A. Smith like have a bad taste in his mouth where he doesn't want to do this again.
Yeah.
I think he's legitimately trying to understand the sport or watch it, and I think he wants to know more about the sport. So I just hope that this doesn't like.
And I appreciate that, but you can't go in first
No.
big event like that. And
Yeah,
just
no. I'm
spew
not
that-
condoning what he said at all. I'm just saying, like, I just hope that he doesn't.
Yeah.
This doesn't, have him not want to do it again.
Yeah.
'Cause that would suck.
Yeah, that's my same thing. All right. This weekend, I don't think there's any big fights this weekend, is there?
No, I think it's a fairly quiet weekend in MMA.
Yeah, I don't remember them anything coming up. Let me see here real quick before we go, just to make sure
Well,
we're not.
nothing major anyway. But yeah.
I'm gonna look at some of the events.
I think there might be some like a few cards, but nothing.
No, you
worth
have
noting.
LFA actually over here in Costa Mesa on
Yeah, on
UFC
Friday.
Bypass. You have one championship that's got an event going on. That's about it. Next week you have one championship Invicta and Jones and Reyes, which is can't wait for that one.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Until next week, we'll break down those fights. But stay safe and see you guys next week.
See ya.